Boys, let's get to it.
Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Lights, camera, action.
What's up, everybody? We are the Three Amigos and a Podcast, Season 2, Episode 34, I think it is. Yeah,
Wow.
Episode 34.
Wow. You guys are getting up there.
Past the halfway point
We're
significantly.
Sub 20 till our 2 years.
Jeez.
Because,
The first year seemed like it was
yeah,
the other day.
it feels like we just started.
This is our this is our usual start to the segment.
I know. I listen to your. I'm like one of the first people to listen to your pod. Every time it comes up, I'm like, all right, pull it up, and then every time you guys get into the number aspect, there's always like, wow, yeah, we're only like 20 episodes away from our 2 years.
Hey, man, it's pretty crazy, okay? It's exciting.
We do need to just get away from the habit of dwelling on the number. And
Well, that's just kind of how podcasting is. Like in the beginning, like we just got to episode 60 on my podcast, but in the first 20 podcasts, I would just talk about like how I can't believe we're podcasting.
We're just keeping it going.
We're keeping it going, and I'm like, and I listen back to it, and I'm just like, well, what? Why did I just keep dwelling on that whole aspect? And then you find something new to dwell on. And then you just keep on dwelling on something until you, it's just
sounds like
cycle.
podcasting is all about dwelling.
It's just
Dwelling.
reflection.
Well, that's what they are.
For everyone wondering who that weird voice is,
That's not Ryan.
that's not Ryan.
Ryan's brother.
It's Mr. S.A. Sneaky, a recurring guest,
This is sneaky.
Enrique,
the fourth amigo.
the fourth.
Fourth amigo.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll call him that.
We'll make him the honorary fourth amigo.
It's an honor.
He's earned the respect.
You're a sub. You're a 12th man.
well, I mean, out
He's
of the
also
other
our biggest fan. He's like
I am fanboy.
He's the only reason why we keep going.
Oh, that's.
He's like Nick Swartzen's character from Blades of Glory, and
Oh,
he's like,
well,
I want to wear the medal naked. That's
Now I
Enrique.
want to quit. Now I'm done. I'm not listening to your podcast ever
I want to
again.
wear the jersey naked.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I was just like, speaking of him being our number one fan or whatever.
Oh.
Usually we get like around 200 downloads a week or whatever, and I just looked at our numbers, and yesterday we had 1. So Enrique was listening to us yesterday, being
No,
like,
it
"Oh
wasn't.
shit, I gotta
it
prep
wasn't.
to be on with this."
God.
What are they talking about?
Why are you talking about how?
Why are you putting numbers out there?
Yeah, why are you puting how unsuccessful this podcast is out in the air?
Hey, that's pretty successful. Okay, that's better than.
Well, you get the jump. Like I'm gonna admit though, for you're gotten back on track of like posting on time, but you just for a while you were just posting at random times.
Yeah, dude, I was getting busy at work.
Yeah,
and I couldn't.
You were talking
I
about
couldn't-
something that happened like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, this doesn't even like you're.
I couldn't get stuff up
things.
till like Saturday. It's like, damn it.
Brandon doesn't even know. Like,
No, I'm basically just the talent. He just got to keep me happy. He just brings the scotch, which he just finished, so expects you to get a new bottle.
No,
Is that in the budget?
it's not.
We gonna make that happen?
We need
oh,
sponsors.
that's something that needs to be. That is always talked about on podcasts, like a budget that doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Like, my co-host Philly always loves talking about, hey, can we add this to the budget? I'm like, what budget? We got
Oh my god!
we don't have a budget. It's just me sitting in a room.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you
there's no
mean-
sponsors.
You want me to pull out my credit card and take care of this?
Well, luckily we're pretty low budget, low maintenance over here, so it's not too bad.
Right,
They just got to get people to show up on time.
right.
Are you saying I don't show up on time now?
I just
It's a subtle jab.
I need you to show up,
at the
Brandon.
talent.
You need to show up good. At the talent. Yeah, right.
We're the talent over here.
Anyways, whatever. Like we said, Enrique's joining us, recurring guest. The All Bad Podcast is the podcast he's referencing. So,
Best podcast in the galaxy, as we like to say.
Podcast.
Podcast.
yeah, what galaxy are you talking about? Because there's infinite galaxies.
Milky
so
Way galaxy.
It's the one that has 0 people in it. The black hole galaxy.
Hey now.
Everything goes to that. No,
Hey now. You gotta like.
what? You gotta be positive.
I gotta think of something positive.
No quick wit.
No quick wit. Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those things, you know. I can't just talk down on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you do the whole time of your. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Granted, we did. There are some. There might be a future podcast in the works. Moving forward.
Yeah.
Dang, how many? You're just bouncing around from podcast to podcast.
Hey, when you're real talent, you know, you can do as many.
Yes, you want to talk about talent? You know, I'm gonna take my talents to South Beach. And I'm gonna make a pub video of me running down the beach.
A pub video?
Like you know, I'm hyping it.
A hype video of you showing out.
The hype video. Well,
yeah. Anyways, how was the weeks? Brandon, looked like you had a pretty eventful week. Went up to LA and
oh shoot, yeah. Yeah, that was this week. Yeah, I went up to watch the Clipper game. Clippers
Nice.
played the Timberwolves, and it's a freaking zoo over there right now. Well, they cleaned it up a little bit, but
That is pretty awesome that you gotta see that before.
yeah, that I actually have a video on here. I didn't take the video of the whole thing, but there is like a full-on. So they have like the entrance of Staples Center gated off, so that way, like people actually have tickets, have a spot to enter in because the streets and that you know that like square outside of Staples Center.
Yeah.
That was literally, I'm not kidding, like you were like shuffling your feet to move forward. It was that crowded with people.
just because of all the Kobe stuff.
Yeah, there
and-
was like artists on the street painting like Kobe murals. There was like giant like blank canvas. Well, they weren't blank, but they were
The
at
wall
one, at one
sign.
point they were blank canvases, and they have like messages for fans to put little like, you know, farewell things to Kobe, and people were like stapling like their Kobe sneakers to the wall. There's
Wow.
Kobe jerseys, a bunch of candles, basketballs. You basically, you name it.
Yeah.
It was a zoo though. Like it was kind of cool to see it, but at the same time, it kind of took away from the Staples Center experience a little bit, where it was like, all right, I want to watch this game and enjoy all this stuff. And there's like kind of, I don't know.
Granted, it's one of those events that
Yeah.
it's likely never going to happen again. I mean, even with big Lakers that will, you know, eventually pass someday with Shaq, Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to receive the same reception as losing Kobe.
There was this bus, I'm not kidding, they call it the Hoop Bus. And it was all purple and gold, and it had 2 basketball hoops on there, and like it literally had like a picture like a pod squad or whatever, like a rally squad, and they're all in there like throwing basketballs out to the crowd like, shoot it in the hoop, and they had like a hoop hooked up to the back and the front of the bus. And I'm like, it's crazy enough already, and you guys are adding this to it. And then there's like guys banging trash cans and stuff,
It's like
making
a
music
sad
and
scene
stuff
with chaos, and they're
yeah,
just like,
and
go crazy.
There's like cops making sure that
I'm sure
no bombs or anything like that are over there, and there was just so much. It was just, I don't know. It was like a kind of an emotional thing to see, and you're kind of like, this is really sad.
that's what I mean. Yeah, it's
And
just like they went to.
It's been over a week, and I just kind of want to like grieve in a different way than
Yeah.
you know, just having it shoved in my face. You know.
and have it be like a party atmosphere.
Yeah, so but we won, beat the Timberwolves, who are just freaking struggling hard right now. Lost, I think, 13 straight games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
James bet on them. He had them in his parlay that day.
did he?
Yeah.
Timberwolves
Yeah.
money line.
Yeah,
He was like, "There's no way." That, no,
Yeah.
he did. He was like,
There's no way that
he was like, "There's no way they can slide that far."
I will say this. I was very stoked because that was the day they were retiring Kawhi's jersey at San Diego State.
Yeah.
And I was very worried, especially with Kobe and Kawhi having the same
Pilot. and all that
pilot,
stuff.
that Kawhi wasn't going to play in the game. And this was the first time since Christmas Day, and the first time, like the time before that, it was like several months that we had a full healthy roster. And so it was cool being able to see Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and the team at full strength. And yeah, they usually don't do well in the afternoon games, but they actually showed up, and the Lakers actually played that night too. So I think that also added to the chaos. There was a lot of Laker fans at the game because they can't afford to go to the actual Laker games. They're so expensive now. So it's like, oh, I want to watch some basketball. I'll just go to a Clipper game because they're reasonably priced tickets.
Yeah, my neighbor actually went to the San Diego State game.
I wanted to go to it, but $150 like the cheapest.
Yeah,
he has season tickets, so it didn't affect him. But he said it was really cool. Like everything that Kawhi said was just
I watched it on
really,
TV.
all 10
really
words.
nice.
No, he actually
he
opened up. I felt like, and Steve Fisher was there, and he kind of they
That's
like had
probably
a
the key
full on
right there,
embrace
just 'cause
right
it's
there.
someone that he feels really comfortable.
Well, I think it was also some place he feels comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like these fans are like my people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of where I grew up, type of
When
thing.
he's,
So.
I mean,
they almost dropped. They almost lost that game.
They rallied.
That was scary for a second. I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, they beat. They're a good team that they ended up beating too. That was the team that was favored to win the Mountain West.
Was it
but,
Utah?
Utah
State.
And the whole Clipper team showed up too. They
Yeah,
all
that's
took,
what they were
they,
saying,
they
yeah.
all took Steve Ballmer's private jet over, and I mean, you have a great owner like that. It's just a beautiful thing to have a good owner.
Well, yeah.
It doesn't say racist stuff.
Yeah,
Wasn't
well, it
that
doesn't say
wasn't that
racist stuff,
wasn't that your old owner?
or isn't just a cheap ass like literally every other owner I'm familiar with.
That's true. Enrique, how was your week?
It was wonderful.
Wonderful. Wow.
From what I remember.
From what I remember,
Well, I was invited over for the Super Bowl. My girlfriend and a couple of my tagger loser friends.
was that James?
James and Alfredo.
You've probably heard these people. Probably heard of James before.
Yeah.
We talk about him in fantasy.
Yeah.
Talk shit about him enough.
Oh yeah.
Did he ever?
Slimy guy.
He didn't come in on the podcast before the.
He doesn't do podcasts.
Yeah, I think he sat there quietly.
I had him on a
Yeah.
podcast one time, and
He just
like,
sits there in the back.
well, it's a weird thing. Like that's another thing. The first 10, 15 podcasts, you talk about how weird it is to like do it, like talk on a mic and listen to yourself. I know you guys don't do the headphones, but on our podcast,
I like not having
Me
headphones.
too. Makes my ears, lets my head breathe.
Yeah.
it is one thing when you take the headphones off and you're like, wow.
And you
your
guys
ears
sit
are
at
sweating.
a 6-foot table, like you're right next to each other. You could take them off.
Well, the thing is that, I don't like to do any sort of post-production editing. Like, I pretty much just save it and throw it up there and, like, well, hopefully we get something. But
I feel like that would be necessary if you guys were talking remote. Like if you guys were in separate locations, and you guys were podcasting and having conversations with each other.
Well, the microphones that they have are like way more. It's like
Better.
that the range that they pick you up isn't as far, so you have to be like right up on it.
well, one thing that is weird, and I'll just point this out, is you guys have weird mics. Like, that's one thing that's taking some time to get used to.
These are new mics right here.
No, this whole little, like, cage thing, it's a weird thing to talk into.
Oh, you're talking about this little like
Screen thing.
Oh, the screen thing?
I don't mind it.
I don't know. Yeah.
I feel like literally this
it's
just
up-
feels like we're all having a conversation and the mic isn't even here.
I feel like I'm trying to hide from you. Like,
Really?
I don't know.
I mean, just look over it. Look past it.
I
Like,
can. I'm trying to talk into the mic, and then at the
Well,
same
lower
time...
your mic.
Yeah, you can talk from up here. Like, look how far we are.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay, that's a little bit better. But yeah, it was a great week.
You don't have to yell either. I mean, Jesus. I just like fucking clipped the shit out of this whole thing.
So talk about the Super Bowl. So you guys had a good time. You
Lost
invited
$50.
everybody.
Yeah, I got invited. Lost $50. Thank you, 49ers, for that.
Should have gone with my pick.
I know. I was happy for them, though, at the end. Like, it was one of those things where I was pissed off that I lost money, but then at the same time, I was like, I was happy for Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, you know, Damian Williams, the local kid. So there were some things to be happy for. I obviously don't like that it's like a rival. I'm still a Chargers fan. So, but then other than that, it was just work. And then, you know, we did our podcast. It's been a podcast-filled day today.
But yeah, I feel like you're
today.
Yeah, I did the greatest podcast in the world, Galaxy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're doing it right now.
Oh,
So you consider the Chiefs a big rival, or is it mostly just Raiders? I feel like
I feel like it's like if they're in your conference, it's
yeah,
always
if they're in our
somewhat of a
conference,
rival.
and then you
They're in
know,
division,
having gone to like, I know you're not a Chargers fan anymore, but we have gone to some Chargers Chiefs games, and there's not as many Chiefs fans here in San Diego as in comparison to like Raiders fans and even Broncos fans, but they're still annoying.
I always felt like it was.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot more out of the.
Even when I was a Charger fan, I always felt like it was Broncos and Raiders that I hated. Like, I felt like the other, you know, I felt like the Chiefs were kind of just that team in the division.
Well, it might be
the
because
Chiefs-
they had success. They've had like, obviously the Chiefs are the hot thing now, but whatever 10 years ago, the Broncos had won a Super Bowl however many years before that, and same with the Raiders. And Chiefs, obviously, they haven't won anything in 50 years.
50 years.
50 years. So it's just like when your team is hot, and it'd be interesting to see like if the Chargers ever do win a Super Bowl, what kind of fans that makes people. Because winning does bring, like, a lot of people talk about like how the stadium was never empty, like was always opposing teams fans, and then you just look back at like the Qualcomm at the Q, and you see like old videos from like the mid 2000s, and it's just filled with blue. Like even when there's a lot of Raiders fans there, it's like 75% Chargers fans and 25% Raiders fans.
The thing is the weather is so nice here. There's so many things you can do that, unfortunately, people in this like.
If you're not putting a winning product,
if you're not
out
putting
there,
a winning product on the field, people are like, "All right, I got better stuff to do."
Yeah.
Like people in like the
That's
Midwest.
That's an excuse, though. I think that's a good excuse. Like if your team is not winning,
yeah, it's a great excuse.
That's the excuse that the analysts use, that the owners use. Oh, there's just other things to do. No, it's because your product sucks, and it's just like when the Rams were really kicking ass 2 years ago, the Coliseum was filled. And then the year before that, when they were, you know, they weren't in the Super Bowl, it was empty. So it's just like winning brings fans.
Yeah. The Chargers are also in a weird spot too, where I feel like they haven't had the success in the new city, so they're not going to win fans over a team that's been there in the past and has gone to a Super Bowl since coming back to LA. So it's like. They're certainly like in a tough spot, and I feel bad for the players, but it's the owner's fault.
Yeah,
Do you think
it comes
he'll sell
down.
a team?
No, because
I think he will at some point.
The only way he'd sell it is if he gets forced out of it, because that's his only like
I always
liquid
see those
asset.
articles
That's
where they're
that's
talking
like his
about-
only asset.
if
Like
you
in
get
reality,
a
outside
big
of
lump
that,
sum of money, somebody's gonna like, I'll buy that off of you for $3 billion. You might be willing to entertain that.
Well, the value of the team like went up. It like doubled, right?
Yeah,
Just
when they
moving
went to LA.
from San Diego to LA, it like doubled.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that's really all he wanted. Like it seems like his plan for the future is just not really there. He's playing second fiddle in the new stadium, and it seems like there's issues with that. And also that stadium has caused all like I guess they had to double their budget like after the fact, and it's just like
it was like rent talks with like the Chargers, like they had to renegotiate all that kind of stuff.
because they're not used to paying what $1 a year here in San Diego, and you know I think it might just be a little bit too much for him, and the value is probably unless they win like a Super Bowl soon, which we're gonna be getting a new quarterback, so it's gonna be a rebuild for a while.
Please be a racist.
Have some kind of cancel.
Well, they keep on saying that there's talks of them like the owners pressuring Dean Spanos to sell because it was clearly a mishap. One team is one too many in LA, so having two is just like it's just not going to work for the future. Obviously, they talk about like they don't know if they can relocate the Chargers back to San Diego or moving them elsewhere. And
I think the boat already sailed on them because San Diego State's getting their stadium,
Yeah,
weren't they?
that-
So it's like the boat's gone. Like you guys, they blew their chance and they're not coming back anytime soon. So, I think best bets they get a new owner, and I think two teams could function in LA. I just don't think the Chargers were one of those teams. Like if the Raiders moved there and the Rams, I think that would have been both of them would have thrived.
Because those are like two solid fan bases.
Well, and not only that, they're two fan bases that kind of have somewhat of a history there, And I know the Chargers had 1 year in LA in the previous,
like the 90s,
but like
early 90s or something.
Yeah, but that's not enough to.
Yeah, it's not enough.
That's not enough to lure fans from
that's
LA.
What I mean. That was their mistake. Is like they tried to move there and then grow fans in LA when it's like you need to bring them with you. Like you need to have a fan base to grow from, not just nothing to grow from. So,
but I think that can change. Like if they put a winning product, like a really good product on the field.
Well, you look at it with the Padres. I feel like ticket sales are up, even though
they're not even.
They're not even winning.
Getting tickets this morning was a little tricky, and then after the fact, like normally, I predict tickets to sell out within the week.
Yeah,
as opposed to a couple of weeks before, like a week before the actual opening day. So, just putting a winning product on the field is going to bring an atmosphere. It's going to bring fans, and even fans are like say that they're no longer fans. As soon as they see something that's like good out there, like, oh, I still got that Melvin Gordon jersey, and even though he's not on the team.
Yeah, well, my week was fun, as Enrique was saying before he went on a random tangent.
I thought we were getting into sports. I thought this was a sports podcast.
My week was good too.
We cut it off and then we make the clean segue.
Yeah, clean transitions.
Yeah,
before we get into segments. But yeah, like he was saying, had a little Super Bowl party at the parents' house. It was a good time. It was nice. Game was good. Before we get into it, I got to ask you guys this question because I read this story today and I just thought it was like one of the most disrespectful things in the world. So I just got to get your opinion. So, like an organization retires a jersey. We're just talking about how San Diego State retired Kawhi's jersey and like it's his number. So no one else on that team is going to have that number again. Like it's something special to it.
Right.
So the University of Colorado, because of some recruits, are unretiring jerseys. Like, do you guys think like
that seems wrong, dude.
Like, doesn't that just seem wrong? Like that doesn't.
No, they can if they want to, but it's just messed up.
It just sounds so disrespectful.
Yeah, it's 100% disrespectful. No, I
unless
like don't you think that
they got some like really high level recruits, so they're and that recruit wants that number
exactly.
But why? I don't know why. Why does that recruit want to go to that school? Because it's not like they're like
if a number
big name.
Is that big of a deal. Like this is for college. This is not for like the NFL. It'd be one thing if it was like
it's for it's their basketball team.
Athlete for one team in the NFL or whatever pro sport going to another team and they want to take that number, but someone else had that number retired. Like it's happened before, and they've talked to like players, and then they kind of give them their blessing. But that's a completely different thing. It's like.
But I don't feel like that's with like a retired number. You know what I mean? There's also like some kind of respect and history there. Like imagine if somebody was like, I want to start wearing 24. Wasn't that Jackie Robinson's number on the Dodgers?
42.
Or 42, yeah. So it was like, I want to wear 42 on the Dodgers. And they're like, well, we don't offer that number. Like
definitely not because retired throughout all baseball.
Or, all of baseball. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, all of baseball. It was like, imagine if somebody's like, well, I don't want to play for you if you're not going to,
well, no teams,
reinstate 42. It's going to be like, no, dude, you're not going to play in the league then. Yeah. Like it's just, and if you can't respect what he did for the game, it's the same thing. It's like, if you can't respect what these players have done for this organization beforehand, like.
And not only that, what are you telling the players that are busting their ass for you right now? Like if you do really great for us, this is how we're gonna. We may not respect.
I might retire your number.
No, they just may not respect you the same level, even if you accomplish great things for them. So it's like, I just think it's a, you might win in the interim by being able to recruit that player, but in the long term, I don't think that would bode well for the franchise.
It just seems, it just seems messed up
altogether.
Granted, if it was like one of the most highest tier athlete out there, bringing like a player to any sort of program might bring, if I was a player that had played for like a high level program and then, they can bring someone else in and that person would have success, I might be fine with them taking that number. Because I feel like bringing a championship but you said Colorado State or something?
University of Colorado. I mean,
no, they're not going to win anything.
It just seems disrespectful.
Well, there's multiple ways you can look at it. So even if it was a good school, you can attract other great recruits too. And then if you're a small school, like how great of that recruit is it? Like is he the top like high school prospect in the country?
You're not
and
going to
if
get
so,
a Zion.
why is he interested in playing for your school?
Yeah,
you
know,
would
go to a real school, like a big name school.
Right.
Yeah, to me it just it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
and even if he's like a 5-star recruit.
I don't think it was probably gonna be like a 3-star recruit.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're like.
They might get like it might have been like a 4-star recruit.
It's just one of those things that it's like you gotta just respect on so many levels.
Yeah, if Fernando Tatis said he wanted to play wearing the number 19 jersey,
have it.
No, I would be like, you gotta go play somewhere else. Like,
I'm like, this really sucks, but this is a respect thing, and if you don't respect this club, we don't want you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if you're sending away your best player, it sucks, but you gotta pay respect.
Gotta honor the tradition of it.
Right. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was a weird story.
That is a weird.
No, it's
weird coming from like a high school student into
make
a college
those
program
type
as
of
opposed to like
demands.
a college. Like what if they drafted whoever in the first round and then that player had wanted. They had the first pick in the draft. So like say Joe Burrow wanted whoever's been retired in the Bengals, like
nobody
Boomer Esiason or something. That might be who.
Ocho Cinco.
So I can possibly see that player who has had their number retired being fine with like giving them their blessing and giving the number just because that's his team. That's his team. Like, and I think seeing his team succeed.
Well, okay, so I think that's a different part, right? Because like,
but that's a different.
But
that's like a different
assuming,
tier of sports in general. But
that's also assuming that the jerseys that they belong to, those people are still alive, so you can have that conversation.
Yeah, right.
Like if they passed already and then you reinstate their number, it's like that seems even more disrespectful.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think the person has to be alive.
Yeah, if you got the consent from the player, that might be a different thing.
That'd be a different story.
But yeah, if the other guy's like, I don't care, you can retire it, or you can unretire the number. It's not even then, you're like, all right, I know I'm just pressuring this guy into doing it, and he wants to be a nice guy.
You
but
would have to be like, all right, how much are you gonna pay me?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
like,
here, real quick. Like, are you attached to a certain number? Do you have like your lucky number? Like, that's you?
Yeah, 18 is my lucky number.
Right. Okay.
In case 4.
4. I'm number 4. Are you attached to that number? Like, you were a professional athlete and
let me tell you. Okay, this is a story. So, my senior year, I got the number 18 jersey that's here, and the next year they had to use the same jerseys. They didn't have the number 18 anymore, and the kid that was playing below, or like another kid that was on the team that now wore like the number 18 was like, hey, like can I have your jersey back so I can play these games? I was like, no, they're mine. Like, I'm not gonna give you my shit. Like, they gave it to me. I'm not gonna give it back to you. Like, it's mine now. So for that year, I was like, no, they gave it. They shouldn't have given it to me.
Right.
And I think the same thing happened with Ryan with 21. It was just like,
oh, that's
you guys shouldn't have give us the jersey. Like, that's just dumb of you on your part. Like, I don't know.
Would you be fine, yeah. Brandon? Would you be fine? Say you were a quarterback and they were bringing over Julio Jones. And Julio Jones wanted your number, and that's the make or break. Are you going to give him your number?
Yeah, 100%. I don't get attached to a number if I was still. Are you talking about if I'm still on the team? Obviously, I'm I want to win, and I don't care what it costs, even if it means sacrificing a stupid number.
Right,
that means nothing. Like it really, literally means nothing. But I feel like what we were just talking about was a guy who's played his entire career in a certain number with the one franchise and has put an entire load of work
Right, exactly.
towards one thing, and that
And then
number
you
is one
Yeah,
way
that
you
number
honored that guy.
you memorialize all the work that he's done into that one number that's hung up in the stadium.
Exactly. That number doesn't represent just like a jersey, that the jersey number
It's the entire thing.
It's his career.
Yeah, it's
it represents
contribution.
his career. It's a symbol of his career. But I'm just saying, like, if I was in an organization, if I had played for an organization and then that organization just like went in the dumps and
To bring him out,
I
yeah.
hear like, oh, hey, we're going to get the first pick. Unfortunately, he would really like to have your number. Can you give him your number?
I mean, there's a price on everything.
But
You know what I mean?
I would
That's
try
really
to.
what-
I would try to squeeze some money out.
Like, that's
Oh,
really
yeah.
what it'd be.
Well,
It'd
you
be
hear
a-
about people like buying each other's numbers all the
exactly.
time.
Like, that's what it would come down to. I'd be like, yeah, I'll sell it to him. I have
Right.
no problem
Yeah.
with that.
And if it's a make or break for him, he's willing to pay for it.
Exactly.
Like you got to just look at you're at a position of leverage, and you can
Yeah.
just
Dangle it in front of him.
squeeze some money out of him. To me, it's just a number. I wouldn't care, but
Right.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, that was another tangent. Let's get into our real sports talk after we're a half an hour in already.
it's the meat and potatoes here, and we have a lot to talk about.
We got
today.
a lot. We got a lot going on.
Nothing happened this week.
So Sunday was Super Bowl Sunday, Super Bowl 54. It was actually a really good game. I know we've kind of had some duds, the past couple, but this one was a really good game. 49ers, kind of leading early. The Chiefs looking like they're making the mistakes, and then staying in it kind of. I think this game really comes down to like the 49ers coaching staff not really coaching very well, and then also just I don't know, their game plan seemed off, but late in the fourth quarter, Chiefs surge back, come back from a 10-point deficit and win it. So,
That was unfortunate.
I've been hearing like the hot topic is whether or not Pat Mahomes or Damian Williams deserve Super Bowl MVP. What are your guys' thoughts?
Damian Williams all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be the first player to, rush and receive a touchdown in the Super Bowl, or something like that.
That can't be.
It was something like that. It was something that was like, how does that never happen before? But yeah, I think easily he should have won it. The only reason Pat Mahomes won it is because he's the name.
Yeah.
That's it. Jimmy G's and Pat Mahomes' numbers in those games are very similar.
Mhm.
And you're telling me that on one end of the spectrum, people are
Yeah,
calling
wasn't
for
Pat
Jimmy
Mahomes like
G's head?
26 out of like 42
Yeah, with
or something like
an
that?
interception or what? It was just like
I just wanted to ask just to see what your guys' thoughts were.
And I think the only thing people are accrediting it to is oh well, he led them back from that the deficit that they were in, but it was he was the reason they were also in it. So
Right.
two sides of the.
Two sides of the coin.
Well, the big
Yeah.
thing that I kind of that stood out for me was just here the 49ers had been running so well, during the playoffs, throughout the year. And then the second half, they kind of flipped the script, and you were seeing a lot more throws from Jimmy Garoppolo. And I just you have.
It's reminiscent of Seahawks versus Patriots throwing the ball.
Well, he has. Kyle
the
Shanahan's
1-yard
been
line?
attached. Oh, no. I was just saying, another thing that's been pointed out a lot is that Kyle Shanahan's been attached to, two of the worst
flops.
Yeah.
in the Super Bowl era. And it's just
Well, for sure one, that 28-3.
Yeah,
That one right there is that's a whole new level of sadness, and that's going to haunt that franchise for a long time.
Yeah, and
Well, they
they're
haven't
not
been the
going to be the
same
same
since
since.
Yeah.
But we said it last week going into the into the preview or whatever of what our keys were for them to win the game, and we said it the 49ers need to play their game. As soon as they start trying to get a little fancy with it or do something, they lost it, and that's kind of what happened. So overall, it was a good game.
what are your thoughts on Jimmy G? A lot of people are get rid of him.
No.
There's a lot of talks about
There
Tom
was.
Brady coming to the 49ers next year.
Yeah, that was
which would be an awesome way for, here's Mr. He loves talking about the catch and just the 49ers were his team growing up. And that would be one hell of a way to end a career.
I think the most exciting people of that would be the Patriots because they would go get Jimmy G right away.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly what would happen.
It'd be
I think Jimmy G's a very talented quarterback. I think he just got shafted because people are like, well, you throw an interception, you basically they try to have you throw the ball more and you can't do it and you lose the game. But
I don't know. His role is more of game manager at this point. And like, I'm not going to fault a guy who's playing the role that the offensive coordinator or the head coach is carved out for him. And obviously I think knowing Bill Belichick and how badly he wanted to keep Jimmy Garoppolo and how badly he didn't want to trade him, I think he's the poster child for what you would be looking for in a quarterback if
one of the best coaches in history is like
adamant about keeping you and kind of had a little bit of a riff with the owner about keeping him.
But yeah, I don't know. I think Jimmy G's a good quarterback. Is he like a top 15 quarterback in the league? I don't think so.
I don't know if he's as good as Blake Bortles.
I feel like he's right in the middle. Like I feel like he's in the middle of the pack right now.
Yeah, he's a middle of the road quarterback, but he gets the job done. I think
he'd be a little bit, and he's still young.
I think we're talking about right now.
Yeah, I think of him like Jared Goff.
When you're putting your top,
you're just in the right system. That's the thing. Like like Sean McVay and Jared Goff work very well together. Sean Payton, Drew Brees work very well together. I think Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy G work really well together. So like that's what splits them off. Like you take like Ryan Tannehill for example, right? Like he's not.
He was in a bad system. Now he's in a good system.
Exactly. Like
it's all about
finding where you need to be.
So much. I feel like especially nowadays, I feel like. You're looking at the way the game's played now, and so much of it is, I feel like, more of a chess match than it ever has been. Yeah. Because players aren't allowed to hit each other certain ways and stuff like that, and it's the rules are definitely more catered towards the offenses, and so whichever head coach or playmaker makes the smart decision and outcoaches the other, those are the teams that win. And I'm looking at like a team like the Titans who have Ryan Tannehill. They're in the right system that caters to his skill set, and that's why they're successful. And if you look at somebody like how he was in Miami, where they don't really know what the hell they're doing, everyone's gonna look like shit there.
Exactly.
Like if you were to put, I don't know, I guess Pat Mahomes in Miami's offense, I don't even think they're that great of a team, Well, I don't know if that improves that team that much.
You don't want to discredit Pat Mahomes, though. He definitely has...
Well, I know he's talented, but what I'm saying is he's not nearly as successful in Miami's offense as he would be in the Chiefs.
Right. Yeah, like Miami would probably win like a game or two more.
Yeah, he definitely has...
But he's not going to... completely transform your team. Yeah. He's not going to be the answer all of a sudden.
Yeah, again, it's like it's a team sport, so it's just like Pat Mahomes is blessed to be like in his current situation with one of the greatest coach of all time, and now that's definitely cemented with a Super Bowl win, which I am happy that he got that monkey off his back because that's really just one of those things.
Well, he had like the most wins for any for any head coach that's never won a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, happy for him.
But
I was thinking about it. Brian Flores is a pretty good head coach too. I feel like he doesn't get quite the credit that he deserves. But I just picked Miami because they are kind of considered that bad team.
Well, plus, they really don't know what they got going on right now.
Historically, and this year I feel like I think they're trending in the right direction.
They're definitely not.
But in the past, with Ryan Tannehill, I can't remember. It was Joe Philbin or what was it?
They had Adam Gase before that.
Adam Gase.
Yeah, it was with Adam Gase.
Yeah, and so Gase, it's like Adam Gase. And you look at Adam Gase right now. We were talking about how great we thought
Sam Darnold
was going to look, and now Adam Gase is the head coach, and they look like crap.
Yeah,
it's like
the Jets.
It's just having the right head coach is everything in football.
Yeah, it really is. Just having the right people directing.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of pieces have to be in play for you to go on a run to win a championship. A few pieces fall off, and then you could be a completely different team the next year. We've seen that with the Rams, who fell off completely. Like they're not as bad, but They were in the Super Bowl, one of the hottest, most electrifying offenses, defenses in the league, and then they were just kind of like a middle of the road team this last season.
Yeah, but with the Super Bowl finishing up, NFL season's officially over. There should be a lot of moves going on in the offseason.
It's going to be a really interesting offseason.
Yeah, I think there's like 8 quarterbacks that are free agents right now that are, not scrubs.
Starting quarterbacks.
Starting quarterbacks, yeah.
Yeah.
Like starting quarterbacks that are out there. And
then you're getting Joe Burrow added to the mix. And
exactly.
So you're getting some good rookie quarterbacks coming in. And Tua's going to be probably a Charger from what I'm hearing.
It looks like
I think
Miami. It's Miami, and then then the Chargers are like leaning more towards like a Justin Herbert, right? Or
just
from Oregon.
Yeah, I mean they should do that, or they should hold off and maybe go Jason Fields next year. But who knows?
Tom Brady this year.
No,
that's not happening.
Not to the Chargers too.
Yeah, but so going forward, it'll be good that there's a lot has to happen. So it doesn't seem like the NFL is going to have a dud off season. But also with NFL ending, all other sports are heating up. I mean, we got the NBA
Table
trade
tennis.
deadline. We got table tennis going crazy. God, MLB huge blockbuster deal. Hockey, the Canucks are number 1 in the Western Division, so
it's like 2 weeks until pitchers and catchers report too. So
baseball's heating up. But speaking of NBA trade deadline, had some big blockbuster trades.
This is a crazy day. I was just refreshing to see all the moves as they went down.
Yeah, I mean, how many were there today? There wasn't like just today. I guess it was over the past couple days. But
massive. There's one in particular I feel like is gonna make or break the Warriors going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Andrew Wiggins trade for D'Angelo Russell, which I think is massive. Do you have the specific trade listed up there? Or?
No, I don't. I just know that they're the.
So they
were like the big 2 names.
So just here's the backstory was that the Warriors did a sign and trade with Kevin Durant in the offseason, and they were able to get D'Angelo Russell, and they had to trade Andre Iguodala and give up their first round pick to be able to sign D'Angelo Russell. So I
remember all that.
They basically, long story short, they just took on Andrew Wiggins' contract by unloading D'Angelo Russell to the Timberwolves. A franchise that's so well run like the Warriors right now, I feel like they got to be looking at something that everyone else isn't seeing in Andrew Wiggins. I mean, he's a raw talent still after several years in the league. Number 1 overall pick. His nickname used to be Maple Jordan. I mean, the guy signed an awful contract. He's getting massively overpaid, and for a team to the Warriors to actively seek out a contract of his size, the guy's getting paid $30+ million a year, and he'll be making close to 40 in the later parts of that deal. And you're unloading D'Angelo Russell, who's going to be playing with his college buddy Karl Anthony Towns in Minnesota. I actually really like this move for the Timberwolves. I think for a team that's just doing so many things wrong and they're massively underperforming, you're keeping your superstar happy in Karl Anthony Towns by pairing him up with one of his best friends. And all they had to do was give up a first round pick in Andrew Wiggins, who they've been desperately trying to offload his contract.
So do you think this is anything with the Warriors trying to project for next season? Obviously this season's kind of like a wash for them, all the injuries that they've had.
Yeah.
But next season they should be getting everyone back, right?
Yeah, they must be looking at something that Andrew Wiggins can offer their team when they have Clay healthy, Steph Curry's healthy, Draymond Green's going to be running. He's their point forward essentially.
Yeah.
And Kevon Looney's probably going to be their starting center. Their starting 5 will be pretty respectable if Andrew Wiggins, if they put him in the right role, I think. Okay. And I mean, I just wouldn't want to pay Andrew Wiggins $30 to $40 million a year over the next 4 years, because they signed him to a 5-year supermax 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. And but I mean, it's the Warriors. They have a great front office, and I feel like they're looking at something.
Yeah,
that
they got to be seeing something.
The rest of us are not seeing. And honestly, if that ends up flopping, that could really hinder their ability going forward because they're gonna have no cap flexibility.
All right. Well, then we had other ones. I saw the Clippers made a trade.
Yeah, I feel like
Marcus Morris.
I'm excited. It was definitely a buy now move. We actually tried to sign Marcus Morris in the offseason, and we weren't able to sign him because he was looking for more money than we had cap flexibility to sign.
Yeah.
But so the Knicks actually signed him to a 1-year deal, $15 million. And he actually had an agreement in place with the Spurs in the offseason too, and he actually backed out of that deal and took more money with the Knicks. But we actually paid. The Knicks actually did pretty good on this trade, I thought.
Yeah, they're giving up Mo
we-
Harkless and a 2020 first round.
Yeah. So Mo Harkless is a stud player defensively, huge wingspan, great defender. You can pretty much lock down, most stars in this league. He can keep them in check. But offensively, he's not. His 3-point shot's not been great this year. Just being able to get Marcus Morris, who's pretty much a nice two-way complement. He's actually fifth in 3-point efficiency this year. He's shooting 44% from 3-point range. Yeah. And adding that to Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, just having all these different wing players. And one of the things I think that makes the Clippers especially dangerous is their ability to switch on defense. And most teams can't keep up with us because we're able to switch so well. And while we have like one traditional center who's a 7-footer, we don't have anyone else who's over 6'10" on the team. And so it's just, I just think it's a great move.
Just a good move for him.
I think it's a fantastic move for us. And honestly, I think out of any player who's on the trade market because his contract's expiring, I think we got the best player available. Even though obviously I think D'Angelo Russell's better, but I don't think D'Angelo Russell's still on the contract for 4 more years, and he wasn't really like he didn't have to get traded this deadline. So I was very stoked about that trade.
I thought one of the most interesting trades was somebody you mentioned earlier that was in the Warriors trade, Andre Iguodala.
Yeah.
Basically came out and said, I'm not going to play for the Grizzlies when the season started, when he got traded, and he's held his word. He hasn't.
Yeah.
But now it looks like he's going to Miami, traded to the Heat. So
yeah. They actually that was a massive trade too. There's a 3-team trade. Mm-hmm. There's also another 4-team trade.
12 player.
Yeah, but we'll get into that in a second. But Andre Iguodala was tied to both Clippers and Lakers. I think both of us weren't willing to pay the asking price for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a pretty big haul.
Well, so this is what both the Lakers and Clippers, this is what their stance was, and I was on board with it because I don't think, Iggy's a stud player. He's proven, but he's getting up there in age. Yeah. And to me, they wanted a first-round pick, and he's not worth a first-round pick. To me, I was looking at him as a marginal upgrade over Mo Harkless. And basically, we would have to, in the way the NBA is set up, because just about every team's over the salary cap, you have to make salaries. I think they have to match up to like 80% of what the salary is. So, if you wanted to trade for Andre Iguodala, who's making 17-18 million, you have to trade a guy who's making like 15 million in that trade. So there's a lot of like salary matching that goes into these trades. And honestly, I would not give up a first round pick. You guys weren't willing to give up a first round pick, and Miami struck gold in the draft this last year. They drafted so well. They took probably like three players in that draft probably could have gone in the top 10, and they got all of them. And so they scored, and that's one of the reasons why they're doing so well this year, and they're probably going to make a pretty decent playoff run. I'd look for them to get out of the first round and maybe even make some noise in the second round.
And right away, Miami committed to Andre Iguodala. He signed a 2-year extension with them. Yeah, like right after it happened. So
that was, I'm sure, part of the deal.
Exactly.
Yeah, like we're not trading.
If we can't lock them down.
So they got the Memphis Grizzlies did really well in this trade. They basically got a first round pick in that D'Angelo Russell trade. Or that big sign-in trade. They were able to take on Andre Iguodala's contract for nothing,
Mhm.
and they got a first-round pick out of it, and then they basically flipped Andre Iguodala for Justice Winslow. So they basically got a 23-year-old Justice Winslow and a first-round pick for nothing.
Yeah, so they're
Like-
they're setting up.
Yeah, they did well, like
Yeah.
really well.
Then last we had was this 4-team, 12-player mega deal with the Rockets,
God.
Timberwolves, Hawks, and Nuggets. Right? Is that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
The
and
Can you
Nuggets-
name all
the
the
Denver
players
Nuggets.
involved, Brandon?
I can name the major players involved. Robert Covington going to the Rockets. I feel like the Rockets are, I don't know what the hell they're doing, to be honest. They don't have a traditional center on their team. I don't know if you guys seen those memes. PJ Tucker is their tallest player on their team, and he's 6'8". Like there was a joke that they were talking about on the radio, and I kind of laughed too about how, because the Cavs right now have 3 centers on their roster: Tristan Thompson, Andre Drummond, and Kevin Love. I mean, Kevin Love's like more of a 4, but still,
But still, yeah,
he's still tall enough.
yeah.
That they go up 2-0 and then just keep tossing the ball at the rim to keep the shot clock going for the rest of the game.
Just run up and tap
just
it,
keep
then pass
tapping it a
out.
bunch because they just don't have the size to keep up with them.
That'd be
But
pretty- that'd be
I
really
feel like
funny.
they're waiting for the buyout market. That's the only thing that would make sense. I haven't even looked at the score, but I'm pretty sure the Lakers are smoking them tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Their roster just is. Let's see. Well, it's 16-13. Lakers up, but still a very small lineup. They're committed to the small ball, so I'm guessing they're planning on just running up and down the court. I mean, that's
all
where the
you- yeah,
NBA
that's
is
really all you can do.
nowadays. And then who else is in that? Clint Capella
Yeah,
went
Clint
to the
Capella
Hawks,
Went to the Hawks.
which is interesting because the Hawks already have a good big man. So now they're going to have multiple big men who are studs. But good for them, you know.
Yeah.
The Hawks are maximizing. This is like the thing that makes like being a good GM is using the cap space that you have to take on bad assets and score like draft picks out of them.
Mhm.
So if you know you're not going to do well this year, like, all right, I'll take your crappy contract. Just give me some draft picks out of them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's how
And
they.
it'll
That's
pay
how you
off. That's how
stockpile. You know.
flip it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think
Yeah, I
that was
don't
like
think there's
the
anybody else
That was
there.
like the big major deals. Was there anything else? that
There's
you-
Andre Drummond got traded to the Cavs.
Oh yeah.
He's one of those guys, honestly. So every year, this guy leads the league in rebounds. But I feel like they're just padded stats. They're never contributing to winning basketball. And I think all the GMs in across the league realize that. And so they only got like a second round. The Pistons only got a second round pick out of it, which is, you can buy second round picks essentially. You don't
Yeah.
have to have them.
Yeah.
Like teams who are like, oh, I don't want to have this. I don't want to draft anybody anymore. They're like, okay, I'll sell you my draft pick for
Yeah.
$500,000, and they're like, okay, there you go. I want a guy, and so like that just shows you how unvaluable second round picks are. And they traded the Cavs, who are not contending this year, traded to get Andre Drummond, who's an expiring contract, so he'll be a free agent at the end of the year. They traded for his $25 million contract, so they're paying a bunch of money to add a player to a losing ball club that's not going to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah,
To me, it seemed like a really stupid decision for them, but
yeah.
it's like you're spending a bunch of money to contribute to a losing team. Just it's wasted money.
Yeah. Who knows?
That's
But-
about it, I think. I don't think there's any other big trades off the top of my head.
Yeah, and then also there was the All-Star Game draft today
Yeah, I
with
saw-
LeBron.
To Kawhi, I saw that. And
Yeah.
Anthony Davis.
Yeah, Anthony Davis, and then it was what's the who was the other?
Giannis
captain?
Antetokounmpo?
Yeah, Giannis was the other one. So
I
yeah, that'll be
didn't- I
good.
didn't
I didn't
see
even
what the-
see. I didn't really see the lineups. I just saw that they were drafting, and I was like, oh, that's
Do
cool.
you watch the All Star game?
No,
No.
I'm sure it's gonna draw a little bit more attention with all the
Yeah, with all the Kobe,
The Kobe
stuff for
stuff
sure.
and the-
Just see-
I think the
well, they're doing really weird rules this year, right? For the game, it was like they're basically taking each quarter and making it its own mini game.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. It was like,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
I saw a 3-point contest. They changed that too. Did you see that?
no.
So, and I actually kind of like this change. So, the way the league, ever since Steph Curry stretched the floor and started hitting these like logo shots and half court shots,
Yeah.
and players are doing that more often. You're seeing like Damian Lillard Kevin Durant, all these other guys doing that. And so anyway, so they have the traditional 3-point contest set up, and usually you have 1 minute to clear all those racks, which is
Yeah, it's
whatever,
like 5 racks.
5 times 5,
25 balls.
25 balls.
Yeah.
And so you got to hit those all real quick. Now they've changed it so you have 70 seconds, so you have to clear all those racks, and then you have 2 like golden balls from the logo that you have to hit, and those are worth 3 each. I feel
That's
always
cool, but
I always thought the 3-point contest was my favorite contest for the.
Well, do you like
the
it?
3-point contest, I think that's always been my favorite. I like the new skills contest that they have where they have
That
to
one's
like do a
it's
layup
entertaining,
pass. You
yeah.
know, like that's entertaining. But I hate the fact that they're incorporating like the logo shots and the half court shots because I don't know. Those are just like they're low percentage shots and they shouldn't be encouraged. I don't know. That's just how
Guys are
like,
hitting them though.
I know. That's
they
just
hit
how I
them
feel.
at a
It's
high.
like
They
it's
hit them at a
it's
high
so-
rate now. That's the
it's
part
just
that's crazy.
So dumb. It's like I don't know. It's like those shouldn't be the shots you're practicing.
To me, that's like the home run derby when they get like extra points if they hit a 500-foot home run or whatever.
yeah.
You
There's
remember how they
like
do
extra
that?
time or whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think of it as.
Well, also, it's like the All-Star game, I feel, is supposed to attract people that don't necessarily watch the sport.
Yeah,
Like
that's
they just
true.
want to see like the All-Star, like the best of the best doing weird things. Because I don't know about you, but watching a game with somebody that doesn't care for the sport, all they care about is either like a big, like a slam
big dunk
or
an alley-oop or something.
yeah, exactly. They want like a low percentage. Not to say that a slam dunk is like a low percentage, but they also like to see like when it's a half a second on the clock and they take the half court shot and they're like, oh, they almost made it, even though they did it.
Just seeing a guy get just posterized on a dunk. People like seeing that stuff.
Yeah, they love that. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like they like to see those
And if you get
like
someone that
shots from full court
Yeah.
and like one-handed throws. And
Well,
you're
just
like,
people
what the
like
hell?
people like to see things that just are very uncommon.
Well,
and,
also
and,
makes-
and like I feel like the true fans are like, oh, I like how they ran that play and they cleared the guy open for that open shot in the corner. Like I don't know. I feel like that's where the true fans look at the game like, yeah, that looks cool, you know. And then like
but
you
this
said,
is-
like
they-
the passive fans are like the ones that get excited.
They want also for all our social media posts of someone making like a half court shot or making the guy that makes 2 in a row.
Yeah.
That's gonna be all over every single Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
TikTok. What's TikTok?
Oh,
Don't get me started on
We're
the
not doing this
TikTok.
right now. You can't be that old and
Yeah,
out of it.
you
Get out of
You know
here.
what TikTok is, and I don't have a TikTok. I'm not on board with TikTok, but it's supposed to be the big thing. The youngins, the
youths.
youth,
youths.
they talk about this TikTok.
Yeah. But anyways, we'll get to our last sport of the evening, Major League Baseball.
Baseball.
Basically, it was just
You
one.
see my baseball?
You see my baseball? Frank them beans. Yeah, Frank them beans. I fucking love that movie. That movie is so good. Anyway, just like young Ben Stiller with the fro and the big old braces, and he looks all nerd. Oh, I'm
The
hard.
worst part is when he zips up his nuts.
Of course, yeah, that's the worst part.
I cringe every time.
They're just looking at it. Yeah, how'd you get it all the way up there?
Is it the Frank or the beans?
You went all the way to the top. How'd you? Anyway, so baseball, basically one big deal. The Mookie Betts trade with the Dodgers. A lot of moving pieces in this. Still not finalized, but basically
sounds like the framework's in place.
yeah, they're basically just waiting on the physicals to clear. But in all reality, who knows? Who knows if that's going to happen?
Yeah,
Like,
what are
the
your thoughts
pitcher-
on that trade?
Honestly,
Do you want to say the trades? Or do you have them pulled up?
Yeah, I gotta-
say those real quick. And
I
then,
got it pulled up right now. So, oh shit, where'd it go? I got it right here. Mookie Betts and David Price
the
are
Dodgers.
going to the Dodgers, and they are receiving. Why are you not bringing it up? The Red Sox are getting Alex Verdugo and Brusdar Gatterall. And somehow the Twins are involved, and they're getting Kenta Maeda. So it's like a 3-team trade with a lot of moving pieces going on. Basically, that pitcher that's coming from the Twins, the Brustar Gratola or whatever, he had Tommy John last season, still hasn't cleared his physical, says he might still be injured. So if it's on edge like this, if I'm the Red Sox, I'm asking for something else. Like that's really like that's where you got to go. You got to be like, I need.
Honestly, I feel like the Dodgers paid quite a bit. To be honest,
they did. They paid a lot.
I think the Dodgers. I mean, I don't get this. This trade's got like a lot of mixed reviews because Mookie Betts is probably the second best player in baseball right now, arguably. And well, from a WAR perspective, last year he was the second best player in baseball, and he's consistently been that guy. But he's $27 million, and he's expiring, and he's going to be getting a lot of money next year. So you know this is a 1-year rental, and you knew that the Red Sox were in a position of low leverage because they had to trade players to get underneath the luxury tax.
Yeah, that's also why they're getting rid of David Price because of his massive contract.
And so for me, I look at the Dodgers. They took on David Price's contract that nobody wants, and they got Mookie Betts, and in exchange, they gave up Alex Verdugo, Kenta Maeda, and well, I know this wasn't listed on there, but they gave up Jock Peterson too to the Angels.
Oh yeah, to the Angels.
And so you're giving up 3 players to get 1 player, which is a smart move for them because they're in a position to contend right now. But I still think they paid way more than anything the Padres could have offered. And so I don't know. I guess as a Dodgers fan, I would be kind of bittersweet. Where I'm like, well, we're hoping David Price is decent, but we're going to enjoy Mookie Betts for this year because we're probably not going to re-sign him next year. And so you're going all in for this year. And I always get a little hesitant with the pressure that's going to be the team's going to be under, knowing that this is the year that you're expected to win it all.
Yeah, and I mean, Mookie is a great player, and we've said it beforehand. With him being like the number 2 best WAR in all of baseball last season. But if you look at his numbers in the playoffs, they're not the best. When they made that World Series run, I think he went something like 0 for 7.
Well, he's the only one that wasn't cheating.
Game.
That's why.
Oh, that's why. That's why. Exactly. Yeah. Oh. So, I mean, yeah, and that's another great point. Who's to say how much? If the Red Sox were cheating, you know what I mean? We don't know. There hasn't been an investigation or nothing's come out. So, but yeah, definitely. If I'm sitting here, it's like, let's say that if this physical doesn't go through and this trade kind of just falls apart or whatever, dude, if I'm the Padres, you gotta strike. Like that's exactly when it's time. But at the same time, I don't think that's a possibility.
On a 1 year, like this is
I don't think the Padres need him, to be honest. I mean, he was a guy that I felt like kind of got our hopes up because you're like, ooh, Mookie Betts. I got excited.
Anytime there's like a big name attached to the Padres, you're just like.
It's a new
piece of candy,
new toy. But you know what? We fell for that trap a few years back when we got Matt Kemp, Justin Upton, all those guys, and it blew up in our face. And those were all short-sighted moves. And I feel like ultimately this would be a short-sighted move and not something that the Padres really need, other than maybe improving their culture, making it a little bit more of a winning culture. I think that's like the big thing that we would have gotten out of this trade. Mookie Betts exciting. I would love to have him on the Padres, but
yeah, of course.
But I know we're not going to re-sign him. I just know we're not going to. The guy's going to be getting close to $400 million. We're not going to be able to afford him.
Yeah, it would have to be some magic pulled off. Like, you know what I mean?
They got to find a way to
trade in the outfield.
They got to find what they would
have
need is
won this year.
They would have to hope Eric Hosmer opts out, and Padres definitely would have to start winning to be able to afford all the contracts that they have. And I mean, like Tatis is going to have to take a reasonable deal. We'll have to find a way to buy out all of his arbitration, get him under contract for like 8 of those years, and then 4 years we're going to be paying off Manny Machado and Mookie Betts when they're not worth what they're getting paid.
Yeah. But, it's just always like, it's got to be frustrating, though, to be like the Dodgers in this and just be like, man, I was counting on the Twins to not fuck us over, and basically that's what they did. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're like, this is just a team that we needed to put a little something in for us, and
Well, Twins window is pretty.
Their window's fairly open.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had, what, 2 years straight where they've been decent? Or
Yeah.
last year they for sure made the playoffs.
Yeah, they
Did
went to the playoffs last year.
They might have just missed out the year before, I think. But still, I mean, I think they have a young nucleus.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say their window's closing or anything, but
Yeah. But I mean, even still, picking up Maeda's
That's a good
huge
piece.
score.
Yeah.
I was telling, I'm like, Maeda owns the Padres. I feel like every time I watch him play, that dude just
I mean,
we
he has-
put up like one run or something like that across like 6 or 7 innings. So
Yeah. I mean, he can be lights out, so that's huge for them. Let's see. That's kind of all I got. Is there anything else for baseball? That was really like the big thing. You mentioned pitchers, catchers are reporting.
yeah.
Couple
We got
weeks.
opening day tickets.
We got
Are we
opening
doing?
day.
Are we doing spring training or what?
That was. I think that's kind of like a little plan in
do it.
action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down to do like a weekend trip up and we can pod.
Yeah, that'd
record
be
the pod
my
one of those
buddy
nights.
might want to go. My coworker, which he played in the Marlins farm system.
Nice.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I've been wanting to go ever since we went or me and DJ went that one year, but
Yeah, I used to go quite often when I was a kid, but I haven't been in years. So yeah, I'd be down.
it's just cool kind of just like watching the players like practice and stuff. And you're right there.
Right.
Like they're right in front of you. And they like sign autographs. They're really cool.
Super
They're like,
personable. Yeah.
you just see them like someone like shooting hoops and they're just like just chilling. It's like kind of like obviously you're on the other side of the fence, so you don't get to like hang out with
Well,
them.
one
but,
thing
like,
I always have a hard time with like sports is the fact that like a lot of people playing are younger than me. Like,
Yeah.
that's one
Yeah,
thing.
that's
It's
where
like,
we're
there's
at
gonna
now.
be a
We're
lot
at the
there.
threshold.
you're at the threshold. Like a
yeah.
lot. More so, my brother. You're about to be 30 this year. It's crazy hearing like athletes and like they're like 33 years old and like they're at the end of their run. Like this is it for them. It's just like wow. Just imagine putting all your eggs in one basket for like a 10-year run, if that.
Yeah, but they get paid so much in that 10 years that they're set
But
for life.
it's such a huge gamble. Like
Oh, it's a massive gamble. Yeah, and that's why players are encouraged to finish out their college, you know,
Right.
like and get a degree so they have something to fall back on, you know.
Yeah, because
Because
you could be stuck in the farm system for who knows how
well,
long.
I think baseball more than any other sport is just kind of like lots of guys get drafted and lots of guys play in the minors, but very few make it to the majors, you know.
That's
And
right. Yeah.
so, yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah, I like, I'm a recruiter, and like I'll talk to people that have played in like the minors, and like, oh yeah, I used to be in the Padres minor league system. I'm like, oh really? I'm a Padres fan. Yeah. Oh yeah, we played for the Missions back in the. And like,
Yeah, I was
wow.
making $15,000 a year.
yeah, those guys make nothing. Like
Yeah.
they make like $25,000 or $30,000 a year, or something like that.
Like the fifth, yeah, it's like volunteer
have you
work.
been
Yeah.
to like a AAA or?
I mean, I went to a couple of Storm games. I know
Those are
that's
supposed to be fun. Like they
those
always
are-
have
I've
like,
a
never
good
been to
time.
one of those, but
they always have like cool giveaways and like themed nights. Like
yeah.
I feel
they
like
definitely are like trying to draw people in with like they'll have like outrageous like Harry Potter themed jerseys or something like that where it's just like
Yeah, it's a good time, and like their hats are sick. Like just with the
I was just gonna
eyes.
say
Oh,
that
yeah,
their
that
hat
like,
is like the
one-
the
coolest
logo
thing.
is
they're
definitely
one of the coolest
coolest
logos. So yeah, it was a good time. But again, I haven't been in years, so yeah. NHL, just wanted to bring it up, touch on it again. My Canucks are #1 in the Western Division. About 2 months left in the season
For
before
now,
Stanley Cup starts.
until Ovechkin goes down.
Fuck you, Ovechkin is not even on. It's not even on the team. It's cool. Don't even worry about it. We had Canucks set the record books in the All-Star game. Quinn Hughes was the youngest player to score a goal in the All-Star game, so no big deal.
nice.
But all right, yeah.
Nice.
This is why I don't say
I
anything.
could've- I
'Cause he
could've-
just go. He just
I
goes.
could have swore Ovechkin was on your team. Too.
No.
I was like,
No, he's on the Capitals.
I don't know.
It's okay. He's my favorite player, though. Maybe that's why.
You always
I don't know.
talk about him, so I just assumed he was on your team. I think.
Okay, yeah.
It's weird because like when growing up, hockey was like a cool. Like I loved Mighty Ducks. Whenever I had the chance, I loved going to like goals games. Even now, like the goals came back. Like
I still
it's
haven't been since they've come back. I've wanted to go so
we
badly.
should go to a game. It's
Gotta
so
go.
fun.
I know.
Just go to. They got the Bay City Brewing right there.
You got to go on a Friday.
Friday,
Yeah.
$2 beer, right?
$2 Bud Light night.
Lights. Yeah, it's a fun thing. It's a fun atmosphere. It's a fun game to watch.
And it's cheap.
It's just hard. Like it's just hard picking a team and following them. Like,
Well, we were like Coyote fans when we were kids.
I've
was
just been
like-
a Canucks fan since I was a kid, so that's
yeah,
the Canucks.
I
jersey,
like San Jose
just in
Sharks
case.
too because I like sharks. So it's like I have like some San Jose Sharks hats from like when I was a little kid, and then
the Ducks too.
the Ducks. Yeah, I got my Mighty Ducks.
Our
jersey.
grandmother was she's from Tucson, so she's a
Yeah,
big,
so
Coyote fan.
like
Yeah.
I still have like Phoenix
But
Coyotes.
they like really suck, don't they? Haven't they been like horrible for years?
For years, this year they're doing pretty good.
How are
they're
the
really
Las
better.
Vegas Knights like
Uh,
since?
The Knights have kind of, I think they're third in the Western Division, but they've kind of fallen off. I don't know. They're just
Yeah, there
their
was
competition
this guy that
isn't really
worked
there.
at this restaurant I used to go to, and after they had won like that title, like he was wearing like he had all this Las Vegas Knights stuff, and then I haven't seen him wearing.
Well, they didn't win the title; they lost it, didn't they?
Yeah, they lost it.
Okay, well,
They were just in
But
the
they went
Stanley
to the
Cup.
Stanley Cup.
and that's their first year too, right? Like
Yeah.
that was their
Yeah,
first year.
but that's usually how it happens. So like the redraft or like the expansion draft is like basically each team has to cut someone from like their top lines. So it's like you basically have to give us either your best forward or defenseman, like
Wow, that's
kind of an OA. So that's why it's always
that's a
very
raw deal.
it's very common for the expansion team to get really good.
Aren't they talking
Like,
about bringing like a team to Seattle? Like
Yeah, they're next year.
next year.
Yeah. They forget the name that they decided
Yeah,
on.
the
It was
na-
something terrible.
It was. I thought that was kind of like a.
It
I
was
always
like
think
the-
it's exciting when they add new teams. I feel like
it is.
there's not enough professional sports teams. I don't think.
I feel
just,
like there's a
so
good
many parts
amount.
of the country that are not. They don't have, but
But like what I'm saying is like
professional that is, but a lot of places
Yeah,
are like
there's a
very
lot of minor
attracted to
league.
college basketball and college football.
Yeah, or like
Yeah, that's
semi-pro
true.
stuff.
That's true.
You know, double A teams,
That's just
triple A
because
teams.
I think it's
about.
just because I like sports so much that I wish that like all the major cities had all 4 sports covered.
Well, the issue is that it just takes like pieces.
That would be so. Think how many teams that'd be. Like
That
if
would
you
be
kept
so
the
cool.
existing.
That would be so hard.
Tell me that's not cool though.
Yeah, but it would just be like year-round sports.
That's
You
is
wouldn't be
there
able
a
to-
problem with that?
Everything would just go
Yeah.
on top of each other.
I don't care.
Football would be like 20 weeks.
Is Brandon going to be like the official XFL commentator in this group?
Oh yeah, you gotta follow up on
I got to give you a
XFL stuff.
cup. Isn't Cardell Jones in?
Who's your
in
guys'
there?
team? Who's your team?
The Wildcats.
Where are they
Such
from?
a
Is that,
original name.
is that what they're called?
Where are
Yeah.
they from?
What about
Los
the
Angeles.
LA Kiss? Are they still
That was
around?
arena football.
Oh,
I think that's a
I was-
sex move.
the six.
I was bummed that I didn't get to go to an LA Kiss game. Like
Wait, what league were they in?
they were the arena football league.
That was
okay.
Gene Simmons from Kiss owned that team.
Yeah, the main reason why we wanted to go up there is because we had a couple years stint where we dressed up as like the whole band of Kiss.
I remember that. Yeah.
So that would have been a fun thing, and we would probably got to go.
Is the lingerie league still around? Is that still a thing?
Funny story is that we used to go to this bar, and like one of the waitresses there, she's like really cool, and like she was like kind of a tomboy, but she played in the lingerie league, and she was a tight end, which is funny saying that, but when she told us that, I was like,
But that night she was a wide receiver.
it was weird. Like we even like had to pull up like her, like we pulled up like some highlights, and I was just like, because we had never heard. I didn't know what the lingerie league was, but she had told us that because we were like wearing some football jerseys. She's like, "Oh, I play in the lingerie league." You're like, That's a thing?
Were you a world champion mud
Google!
wrestler too?
And so we pulled it up, and it's just like, oh, okay. Like, it's both weird. It's weird to watch because you're just like...
Well, I think we've seen like random like
Yeah, we've seen random highlights of it and stuff like that.
Like I think we turned on the TV a couple times. Like, whoa, these girls are like, they're like volleyball girls who are just like taken it to the next
Well,
level.
the thing is like they're wearing like
dress them up.
They're very
Like,
they're wearing very little, and they're putting some hits on each other.
yeah, they're like, put this helmet on.
These girls like got major testosterone flowing.
Oh yeah. But is that still around? That's still a thing?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought it was.
Especially in this current climate, I don't see it happening. You know, they're shutting down all those different
They're
establishments.
shutting down J-Lo and Shakira halftime
It's
show.
not the lingerie league anymore. It's
No
the
lingerie.
it's the nightgown league.
Hooters now has guys just working there.
Oh, Hooters is falling off. I don't even want to get into
I
it.
don't
I just
go to Hooters. Like
yeah.
their food is disgusting.
I don't mind their food. Their wings are pretty good.
I have a funny story about being when I was in my vegan days, and we were watching NBA playoffs, and we went to go to Hooters, and I was like, "Well, they're not gonna have anything. They'll have something." And I asked the waitress. I said, "Oh, do you have something? I'm vegan."
She's like, I got a different.
Is there anything I can have but
I got a different
French
V you
fries?
can have.
No. And then she said, "Oh, our chili's vegan." I'm like, I don't think so. Most chili has like meat or like it'll have like beef in it. And she's like, "No, our chili's vegan." I'm like, "Well, in that case, I'll get chili." And it comes out and it's just like full on huge crumbles of ground beef in there. I was like, excuse me? I was like, I hate to be that guy, but this is not vegan. And she's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "This is clearly meat." And she's like, "Oh, I thought those were tomatoes." I was like,
What?
Oh my god.
Those
"No,
are
that's
tomatoes?
ground meat."
Jesus.
I was like, "That's a tomato.
Yeah.
That's ground beef." Like, I don't know how you could not tell the difference.
I got a notification on Facebook from last time we went with Alex.
Oh yeah.
He tagged us, and that was the year that the Giants won the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Good times.
That was years ago. Well,
That
well
was
obviously because the Giants won. But
Well,
yeah.
there's the one in Mission Valley, right?
Yeah, that was the only one I've ever been to. I think.
They
Yes.
shut down a bunch of them. Like same with I don't know if you know the Tilted Kilt restaurant.
Yeah, there's no more of those.
yeah,
like,
they got
shut that
rid of
place
all
down.
of them. I used to enjoy going there for UFC fights.
For that's
Yeah,
why.
for the sports.
It was weird because my
And
buddy
he also
used to
likes to
always
go to the
love
strip
taking his-
clubs for the lunch.
They have the best steak dinners.
It's free lunch if you buy a dance. That's good.
I'm kidding. I don't.
Oh, that's
I don't
funny.
go to those establishments.
Sure. We know. We know your friends.
Those are somebody's daughters, Dean.
She has a big heart.
Yeah, but you didn't finish up your original saying, which is why you need to support them. So I have a stat of the day. Enrique, we do stats of the day every week. I don't know if you're
know.
familiar. If you last this long,
No, I get through all the way to
go
the
all
end.
the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
always waiting for like some sort of like sweepstakes at the end where you're like, "Oh, you know the last if you're
We should do something like first
if
one
you
to
made it this far,
we
hit us
should
up
do-
in the DMs and we'll give you a free."
first one to retweet this is going to get a free shirt or something. You know, not really because we don't just have shirts laying around.
Yeah, use that old crinkly one up there.
Hey, fuck you.
Damn.
Anyways, all right. Do you guys want a basketball one or a football one?
Which one's better? I do like. I mean,
One's
feel like just do-
sad
I
and
think
one's
that-
interesting.
I
the
say-
fo- do
I
the
say you
football,
the
just-
football one.
yeah,
just 'cause
do the-
we're at the end of the
This
season.
is-
It's over.
This is it. Then
All right.
We're done with football. This
All
is
right, all right.
This is the send off.
No, there's XFL next week.
It's XFL.
The last wide receiver to catch a touchdown in the Super Bowl was Chris Hogan.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
It was like 2 years ago.
2 years ago
No
for
way.
the Patriots.
Well, because Derrick Henry caught. No, I'm just, no.
But yeah, this Super Bowl, it was all tight ends and running backs.
Okay, yeah.
And Pat
wow.
Mahomes ran one in. So,
I saw another stat. All the touchdowns were scored in the same end zone.
oh yeah, I saw that. The 49ers end zone.
Really?
Yeah. That was pretty
That's
funny.
cool.
Do you guys want to hear the other one, the sad one?
Yeah.
It was Karl Anthony Towns hasn't won a game since
Oh
Thanksgiving.
God! This
Wow.
Yeah, the day after Thanksgiving, I think, right?
Or was yeah?
It might have been. They've been talking about it for a long time.
Before Thanksgiving.
The day before Thanksgiving.
Day before Thanksgiving, he hasn't won. It's like almost 3 months or 2 months, right? November or December, January.
So that means like he hasn't.
So the team has won games, but he sat them out and they
sat
won.
him out. So
I was telling Dama during the game, like, this guy's one of the most talented players in the entire world, but he's got the worst work ethic.
Yeah,
like that's literally Karl Anthony Towns in a nutshell. Where I'm like, you're a 7-footer who's got skill that people would kill for, and you're just lazy.
He's lazy about it. Yeah. Well, all right, everybody. We are the Three Amigos and a podcast. Enrique, do you want to plug your podcast? Not that anyone's still listening.
I know. Yes, All Bad Podcasts. You can find us on All Bad.
Was so terrible.
the podcast, the All Bad Podcast.
It's like a terrible ad read.
No, I'm not gonna lie. This whiskey kind of got to me. Yes, greatest podcast in the galaxy. The All Bad Podcast. Find us on every single podcast platform. We're on Instagram.
I bet you were on more platforms than you are.
Cool. But what about how's your social media? How's your social media game?
Dang.
Find us on
he took it there.
You're a part of it too.
Find us on Instagram.
I don't know. I'm just in the middle enjoying it.
All Bad Podcasts. We do have a Twitter at All Bad Podcast 1 for B, because we're the #1 podcast in the galaxy.
It's because somebody else has All Bad Podcasts.
Yeah, someone took that, and
Did they
I know they're
post on
gonna
it?
try to sell it to us. What?
Are they-
I know they're gonna try. I was like, we got no money.
It was
the
me-
budget's.
The budget's gone.
It was me. I'm the one that did it.
Well, yeah, and then we have a YouTube that we rarely post things. You know, we're gonna start doing some more things, and
Have you gotten a message from them like, hey, how much do you want this
No.
for this handle?
no,
They don't even post anything.
yeah, it's fine.
Are you looking it up right
Yeah,
now?
I just looked up right now. They joined in 2018, and they have 2 followers: ESPN and Apple Podcasts.
I was the one who made it. How much do you want for it?
In 2018, you don't have that
2018.
best foreshadowing.
I'm hoping that I didn't start that as well. Like
That sounds like something you would have done.
I did that the first time where our Instagram, I started a handle and then I got rid of it, but it like froze that name, that handle. I couldn't take it. So like when I tried to take it again, they're like, you can't take this, and I'm like, but I just tried getting it,
But
and it was
it's
like
me.
frozen for a while, so I had to like wait a few days. You the 3 of you really need to get on the social media game. It's game changer for your.
I can't even.
podcast.
I don't even manage my own like personal social
Brandon
media
does
account.
nothing for this
Well,
podcast.
Real quick, I do want to point
he
out
shows up.
it's
I told you I'm the talent. You got to take care of me.
it's a fashion sin to be doing what my brother is currently doing. He's wearing a New Balance shirt, a Nike jacket, and a Nike hat.
With Under Armour shorts.
With Under Armour shorts, what's
He's got the Under Armour G-string on.
what?
No, but you can't be mixing and matching. I know you need.
I just wore a T-shirt to come over here. I'm not like expecting.
Hey,
to
come
be...
on, talent. Get your
Come on,
shit together.
talent, if you're so talented, you can't
You're
be wearing New
you're
Balance
the
and
face
Nike.
of this fucking podcast. You're making us look bad.
Wow.
I wore a Nike hat and a Nike jacket. That's keeping the same brand. So shut it.
It's good enough.
Shut it, Marv. Okay, that's fine.
He
I
matched
didn't
his hat
realize
with
I was
his
going to be
shorts.
getting critiqued right now about how I dress.
I didn't either.
Well, I thought you were
Don't look at me like I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything.
How dare you, Dean? You're
How
wearing a
dare
Mike
you wear
Hess
new
shirt.
North Face and Vans? No, Converse.
And fancy socks.
Oh, these are. Oh, I'm wearing.
You're
Under
making a
Armour.
fashion sin right now.
I'm making a fashion. I'm wearing slacks and a brewery T-shirt.
There you go, fashion sin.
Fashion sinner.
And I bet you those aren't Aldo glasses either.
I forgot I was wearing glasses.
I don't know. Are you wearing Aldos?
Yeah, I am. That's the only shoe I wear. Aldo all day, baby. Straight Italian.
all day. I like that.
But all right, everybody. We are Three Amigos. We'll be back at full strength next week, and we'll see you then.
Later.
Full mass.
No, you say later at the end. He
Later.
says bye.
Later.
Brandon
Later.
didn't cuss
Later.
at all.
Later. Later. Later.
You need to catch.